teammate, have high energy, be aggressive, and play with great confidence. Enjoy the opportunity that we have. Together, 1, 2, 3, together!
Rakia Jackson. That's Derby through the parking lot.
And the deep three goes down for Cierra Burdick.
Holly shot in one!
Powell open for three. Yes! Yes! Spear from the left side for three. Third three of the night for Caroline Strickland. Jackson, Bindu, right away, go!
Let's go!
And the Lady Vols are headed to the championship game tomorrow.
This about to be on.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Countdown to Tip-Off, presented by UT Knoxville Alumni and Tennessee Athletics. We thank you for joining us today for our virtual pep rally. I'm Brian Reich, UT alum, voice of the Lady Vols. This event, as all of our UT Knoxville alumni events, would not be possible without our partners and sponsors, including Cellular Sales, Coca-Cola, Farm Bureau Insurance, First Horizon, Food City, Graduate Knoxville, Graphic Creations, Pilot Company, PYA, Threads, and UT Medical Center. Now let's get started. On today's show, we will talk to Lady Vol for Life, Cierra Burdick. We'll get a look ahead at tonight's game against Texas A&M, but also that big matchup in Columbia with South Carolina to finish out the regular season on Sunday. We'll get the highlights of the road win over Vanderbilt as Tennessee planted the flag and firmly said, "This is our state," and much more. Before we jump in, a reminder, this year on Countdown to Tip-Off, we want to hear from you. If you have questions about the team, this weekend's game against South Carolina, or questions for our LVFL guest, Cierra Burdick, just type those comments into the box on whatever streaming service you're watching us on, and we will answer some of those later on in today's show. Lady Vols' most recent road trip took Tennessee to the Mid-State, looking for a season sweep of the Vanderbilt Commodores. Lady Vols stayed hot throughout, came away with a victory 86-61. Let's take a look at those highlights.
Ball is in the air. It is tipped to Tennessee, and we are underway. Bounces off the back iron, no good. Rebound, Jasmine Powell for Tennessee. Powell's going to push it ahead. Powell's going to bring it up the left side, puts it up with the left hand, good. Puckett thought about a three, goes inside to Tamari Key. Instead, a little give and go back to Puckett. Now out to Spear for three. She got it. Jules Spear nails the three. Goes out to Jackson. Jackson goes around a Key screen, drives baseline, kicks it out to Powell. A three from the right wing. Yes! Jasmine Powell for three. Wynn finds Darby open from the left side for three. Yes! Tess Darby for three. Goes outside to Spear. Spear drives in from the right side, puts up a jumper, got it, and a foul. Spear going to run a little bit of point up top. Spear launches the three from up top. She hits it. Jackson tied with the Key. Jackson's going to drive from there through traffic, up with the right hand, off the glass, and in. Top of the Key. Now I'll take 2 steps back, survey things. Gets Puckett to set a screen. Now goes out to Darby. Darby will launch a three from the right wing. That's good. Wing, that's no good. Rebound Sarah Puckett. Her putback, no good. Rebound Tamari Key. Her putback is good. Powell rotates across the top of the Key. Powell's going to drive up left side lane. Dishes off to Jackson, who puts it off the glass for two. Here's Powell past midcourt. Powell double teamed on the left wing. That means somebody's open. It's Jackson, top of the Key. She'll take a three from there. Good! Jackson on the right baseline. Jackson drives in from there. Reverses field. Puts it up off balance for two. 6 on the shot clock. Spear's going to drive in. Spear, turnaround shot in the lane for two. He's going to back down her defender. Jackson powers her way in the lane. Puts it up with the right hand. Got it, and a foul. Now to Jackson in the right corner. 7 on the shot clock. Jackson's going to drive it in from there. Step back jumper from the SEC logo is good. She has 18 for the Commodores. Here's Puckett from the right corner for three. That's no good. Rebound Rakia. Put back Rakia Jackson. Shot no good. Her putback try is no good. Rebounded by Kaya Wynn. Wynn now on the run. Wynn up the left side. Puts it up with the left hand. Rolls in and out. No good. Rebound back to Wynn. That's up and good. Inside to Hollingshed. Hollingshed back to the basket, finds Wynn. Jumper from the left side is good as the buzzer expires. 68-57, the lead is 11. Here's Powell to a wide open spear for three from the right side. You bet! Bucket passed on the three from up top, is going to drive in. Dishes to Jackson, off the glass for two. Powell thought about a three around a key screen, drives in, puts up a jumper. It rattles around and falls home. Darby on the left wing. Long three for her is good. Tess Darby from the west end. And that will do it. Tennessee without a season sweep of Vanderbilt. The Lady Vols come to Memorial Gymnasium and defeat the Vanderbilt Commodores by a final score of 86-61.
They gave me a lot to work with, a lot of fun, and always a lot of fun to do the games for this crew. Looking forward to another big one tonight against Texas A&M. Somebody who had a lot of big performances in her time at Tennessee joins us now, and that is Cierra Burdick. Cierra joining us all the way from what country today?
B. Rice, I'm in the U.S., no worries.
Okay, all right. World traveler, always around overseas. Cierra, I want to start. What are you doing now? I know I see a lot of 3-on-3 stuff. What's the basketball journey of Cierra Burdick right now?
Yeah, pure chaos. I got back from France. I was playing 5-on-5 in the French league for the past 3 months. I got back about 2 weeks ago. I only signed a short-term contract this season, this overseas season, because I wanted to get home and, as you said, start training for 3x3. We've got the Olympic training camp in the middle of April. So I'm basically in Charlotte, which is my home base, training, getting ready for that. And that's really the main focus and the main priority right now.
What are the differences as you make that transition from the traditional 5-on-5 game that we know to 3x3, and with that being such a different sport that it is in the Olympics separately of 5-on-5?
Yeah, I mean, it is its own game. But I'll say this. I think if you are a good 3x3 player, you know how to play 5-on-5 too. There are definitely some components that translate really well. Just reading and reacting and the spacing and being able to defend multiple positions and offensively being versatile, being able to play inside out. So I love that about 3x3, that it really fits my game, being able to be versatile on the defensive and offensive end. But, it's a transition that I've been doing for a few years now. My first 3-on-3 experience was in 2014, and between my junior and senior year at Tennessee, we won the World Cup in Russia that summer of 2014, and kind of took a break from 3x3, but then got back to it in 2019 and have been playing consistently ever since. But it's fun. It's a great balance for me to be able to go overseas and play 5-on-5 in Europe, and then come home and train for 3x3 and to be able to play for the national team. I mean, that's a blessing and an honor.
How do you put together the best 3x3 team? What's the right mix of players that have been guards, combo guards, forwards? I know Cameron Brink of Stanford is on one of the junior teams as the center. How do you put together kind of that perfect lineup?
Yeah, Cameron Brink actually played with me in the World Cup this past summer. It was myself, Cameron Brink, Haley Van Lith, and then Lene Harper. So we actually had a mix of younger players and, I won't say older, but more seasoned, more veteran players than myself and Lene. And it was an adjustment at first. It took us about 3 weeks to find our groove, and we hit our peak at the right time, which was right in the knockout stage of the World Cup. But I think we had a really good, well-rounded, well-balanced team. We had Cam as our traditional big, and that's a preference. That's a team preference, a federation preference. Canada typically goes with 2 big forwards and then 2 guards. China is one of the biggest teams on the circuit. They've got 3 players over 6 feet, and then they have a smaller point guard that facilitates everything. The U.S. has typically gone with a traditional 5, traditional, like if they even exist anymore. Cameron is obviously very versatile and can play inside out and just brings a lot of great qualities with her length and her athleticism. But we do try to have a bigger five or a bigger post. And then we have a forward, which was what I played. And then we typically have two guards. So Lene was kind of our knockdown 2-point scorer. And then Haley brought like a slashing ability, can knock it down from outside. So every team is different. You kind of just have to find what works for you and what works for your federation.
Obviously, women's basketball and women's sports in general at the professional level is growing and will continue to grow. How have you seen those changes as you've been making a living doing it now for a decade, in opportunities here, opportunities overseas, the changing opportunities overseas, but how viable a professional career is for so many women in sports now?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's incredible that the growth that women's basketball is making. I think it just goes to show when you invest in women's sports, great things can happen, and we're seeing that. And it's an awesome time to be a female athlete and to be a women's basketball player. I think we're going to continue to grow and continue to see more opportunity for women, continue to see more investment in women's sports. And I think that's great because, just we get to see their stories. We get to see what they're capable of on the court, but even off the court. You in the W, you're seeing the growth that it's making, and you're seeing just, how amazing and awesome these women are. Their stories off the court, on the court. It's a lot to offer. It's a lot of fun to watch. It's a lot of fun to be a part of. So it's great to see how far the game has come. And it's exciting to see what can be ahead and the growth that we're going to continue to make. And, I get paid to play basketball. I mean, it's crazy. And the fact that I just finished my 9th professional season, I'm really aging myself, which is
Aren't we all?
I'm like fine wine, B. Rice. I just like to say I'm getting better with time and age. But to be able to travel the world and play this game and do what I love for a living, I mean, how incredible is that?
Let's take a couple of questions before we talk about the current team and the reunion that you guys had. Kimberly says, would love to see Cierra on staff at some point. Okay, I know it's probably a little early to think about what you're doing after you're not playing, but what do you think? What do you think of the coaching world right now?
I think it's hard. I think if I'm being completely honest and transparent, B. Rice, I think the transfer portal and NIL has made college coaching a really difficult landscape. And it's, I talk to a ton of coaches that are coaching at the collegiate level on a weekly basis, and it is not an easy job. But I'm crazy enough to want to get into it or to at least try it. I'm going to play until these wheels fall off. Because I love competing and I love training and I still love playing a lot. But I think at some point, I would love to try out the coaching landscape and, maybe I'll love it and maybe I'll last and maybe I won't, we'll see. But I definitely think that, I love this game so much and too much to leave it. And, I love working with younger players and kind of being a mentor to them. So I would love to at least try it in some capacity, and we'll see.
Let's grab another question from viewers. Leslie says, tough end of the season at South Carolina, then straight into the SEC tournament. What will the next week look like for the team? From a Sunday game to close out the regular season to a first-round game, whether it's Thursday or Friday. What does this transition from big finale to a completely different season look like?
Whatever happens on Sunday, you got to have a short-term memory. Like whether we get the big win and we're able to go back to Knoxville really happy, or, we play our hearts out and, finish the season with a tough loss. No matter what happens, you got to have a short-term memory. That turnaround is quick. You got to do your best to recover, to rest, but also to prepare for their first-round game. The SEC tournament is the hardest part of the year. Playing back-to-back games like that is, is exhausting, physically, mentally, emotionally. I just remember how hard that week was. And especially to win it all, like that's tough. So you've really got to lock in, whatever happens on Sunday, good or bad, you kind of put that in the rear view mirror. And you look ahead and you really just start to hone in and focus on your next opponent and do what you need to do to be ready mentally and physically.
You mentioned Haley Van Lith a little earlier. You got to see her in person with LSU this past week as Tennessee hosted a major alumni night and a big gathering. What was it like to come back, see the arena the way it was, and to see everybody kind of do the things that they've done to come back together?
Yeah, I think Kelly has done a great job of trying to get the alumni back and really celebrating our past and the legacy that has come before us, and the current players. And it's always cool when us former players can get back and to see each other. We're all over the country, all over the world, and we've all got busy lives. So for us to come together and to be able to watch the Lady Vols play South Carolina, it was a cool experience, and normally I'm out of the country when we're doing stuff like that. So for me, it was just really special to actually be home and to be able to get to Knoxville for that event.
And to be able to connect with everybody that was there, it was remarkable how many former players were there, from people that you played with all the way through, going back. I thought the ultimate flex was Lori Milligan wearing her actual Lady Vol jersey to the Lady Vol alumni game. That was a pretty big flex, but Megan Simmons was in the shooting shirt. But everybody just kind of coming together and getting together and having that fellowship time.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. It was cool to see everybody, players and managers included. I think, maybe the general public thinks it's just all about the players or all about the coaches, but there's so many people that are behind the scenes that it's just so great to connect with them. I was able to, talk with Mickey D, your guy before you. And it's always great to catch up with him and, our managers, to be able to see them. Cause we spend a lot of time with these people,
Oh, yeah.
course of a season, so to be able to see, former teammates, the staff that are behind the scenes, managers, practice players, to see everybody who kind of plays their individual role in making the team roll. It's always fun. It's always a special occasion.
All right, let's get one more question from the audience. Jessica says, have you found your expectations as a player were higher at UT or as a pro?
That's a good question. I think there's a certain expectation that comes when you're wearing this Lady Vol logo, and just the excellence, the standard of excellence that Pat set. And that's not only on the court, but just in life, in the classroom. So I'll say that standard of excellence that I was upheld, that I had to uphold in my time at Tennessee, now it's just second nature. Now, as I've transitioned into a pro, and it's one of the reasons I've been able to play 9 years professionally, and hopefully many more years to come, is because of that standard of excellence that I learned at Tennessee, has just become my norm. The way I train, the way I recover, the way I treat people, staying confident, staying humble. Those were all things that I learned as a Lady Vol, and they've helped me in my professional career. So I think the expectations and the standards, that we have to uphold as a Lady Vol, they're high, but they've helped us in our professional careers and avenues and paths.
All right, if people can follow you, Samika Randall even weighing in here. How about that?
Big sis, that's big sis. I just went to her game last night, man. They had a nail biter against High Point. It went into overtime. Meek drew up some crazy ATOs plays to give her team a fighting chance, man. And it came down to the wire. It was so fun to be in the building and be able to support her. So shout out to Meek, man. The Lady Vol sisterhood is incredible.
How can people follow your journey on 3x3 through the Olympics?
Probably Instagram, Facebook, Instagram C_Burdick11. They can also follow USAB 3x3. There are content creators for that are amazing. So I'll be reposting everything that comes out. Training camp is middle of April 17th through the 25th, I believe. And I'm assuming that the Olympic roster will be named shortly after that. So fingers crossed for the best.
Well, good luck to you. We will certainly be following. Send all my best to the fam, and we'll talk to you again very soon, Sierra. I appreciate it.
B. Rice, appreciate you. Always good to talk.
You as well. That is Cierra Burdick, LVFL, joining us here today on Countdown to Tip-Off. Now let's bring in another great Vol, and that's Dwayne Wiles, our Associate Vice Chancellor for Alumni Relations. Dwayne, thanks for joining us so much today, and an exciting time as always on campus at the University of Tennessee.
It's a great time to be on Rocky Top, no doubt about it. I want to thank you, Brian, for all that you do. And hello, Lady Vol Nation. You know, before the game tonight, I want to share with you, our listening audience and our viewing audience, how they can be proud, be involved, and be invested in UT. I want you to be proud by wearing your orange everywhere you go, especially on Big Orange Friday, and always be representing that Power T. Another way to show your pride is by purchasing the official alumni license plate. Proceeds from every plate supports a UT student. So visit your local county clerk and you ask that they switch it to orange. Secondly, be involved by attending in-person and virtual events like today. If you haven't yet, I highly encourage you to join our online alumni network called Connect UT. Here you can mentor current students, share your work experience, and connect with fellow alumni. Just visit us online at connect.tennessee.edu today. And lastly, be invested. Make one gift, any size, every year to an area of the university that you're passionate about. You can do it now by visiting alumni.utk.edu and just select Make a Gift on the tab. Now, before I wrap up the show today, let's count down to tip-off starting right now.
Are you with me now? Said, are you with me now? In fact, it's good in a while. They want us to simmer down. Can you hear me now? Am I going in and out? I stop and just look around to see if you're with me now. Tell me, are you with me now? Ready to put it down. Start at the bottom, already forgot it, but they won't forgive me now. You really ain't ready now. You haters just in the crowd. But still, I just look around. Are you with me now? Are you with me now?
All right, it is a grunge match tonight at the Food City Center as Texas A&M comes to town. Lady Vols dropped a game in College Station back on January the 14th, looking for a little measure of revenge tonight. Some keys to that, well, that'll be just playing Tennessee's game. The big crowd on senior night will be a lot of fun. You've got to keep the emotions in check as well. And then Tennessee will turn the page to go to South Carolina for a Sunday high noon matchup on ESPN. Again, another rematch game. As Sierra mentioned, it was alumni night when Tennessee took on South Carolina here 2 Thursdays ago. Now Tennessee will go on the road to South Carolina and try to end their undefeated run through the Southeastern Conference and the country this year. South Carolina's last loss came in the Final Four last year. Tennessee will try to end that streak coming up on Sunday and then propel itself on to the postseason. We thank you so much for joining us for Countdown to Tip-Off today. Stay tuned because we'll have some great alumni events coming up in the spring as well. And always be tuned in to alumni.utk.edu for all the latest updates on events in your area, online events, and ways that you can connect with your fellow Vols and future Vols through UT Knoxville alumni. Be sure you tune in tonight for the Lady Vols against Texas A&M on the SEC Network at 7 o'clock. You can join me on the Lady Vol Network beginning with pregame coverage at 6:30. And then the Lady Vols will take on South Carolina Sunday at noon. Our pregame Lady Vol Network coverage begins at 11:30, or you can catch the TV broadcast beginning at noon. Go Lady Vols! Let's beat the Aggies and then beat the Gamecocks. We'll see you next time on Countdown to Tip-Off.